The Mcat stands for the Medical College Admission Test. And it's a computer-based multiple choice test that's virtually taken by all students that are applying to medical school. It's managed by the AAMC, or Association of American Medical Colleges, and it measures factual knowledge and problem-solving abilities in the sciences to determine if a student is fit for the rigorous curriculum of medical school, and it's done through 4 sections. Well, the first one is the chemical and physical foundations of biological systems, or chemistry and physics. The second part of the exam is the critical analysis and reasoning skills section, or critical analysis. The third portion, critical analysis, and the third portion is called the biological and biochemical foundations of living systems, which is essentially biology and biochemistry. And the last section is going to test you on psych and soc, and it's officially called the psychological, social, and biological foundations of behavior. Now, each section is going to have passage-based multiple choice questions and individual questions. Let's go over the elements of each type of questions. So let's start with the passage-based questions. In the passages of the Mcat exam, you're usually going to receive background information. And this background information usually describes the background of the experiments or situation, often in the context of the topic or a medical or biological context. Each section, except the critical analysis section, is also going to have independent questions. So situations, and let me just put down independent questions. Now, independent questions are not at all related to the passages, and they are also not related to each other. So, not related to the passages and not related to each other. All right, now that we have that set out, let's look at the exam overview. So how all of these elements are integrated into the overall exam. So I'm just going to write exam overview. All right, exam overview. All right, so first you're going to start with an exam agreement, and these are pretty much the terms and conditions of the Mcat. This beginning part will take around 8 minutes. And after that, you will have the option to take a tutorial that will familiarize you with the question format and computer system, and this takes about 10 minutes. Following the tutorial, you're going to start the first section, which is on chemistry and physics. So let's do a quick breakdown of this section. This section is 33%, so 33% general chemistry, 25% physics, and 25% biochemistry. It's also 15% OChem, or organic chemistry, and only 2% biology. All right, it consists of 59 questions and with 8 to 9 passages and 4 to 8 questions per passage. and it's a total of 95 minutes. After that 95 minutes, you receive a much needed break for around 10 minutes. So let's just write that down real quick, a break for 10 minutes. Okay, following that is the critical analysis and reasoning part of the exam. This one is a little bit shorter than the other section. It's 53 questions as opposed to 59. And the breakdown of it is 50% humanities and 50% social sciences. Again, this section is a little bit shorter, so the total time for this section is 90 minutes. Write that down real quick. 90 minutes. There are no independent questions in this section. After this section, you get another break, and it's a little bit longer. It's almost like a lunch break, and this break goes on for 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Following the break, you're going to take the biology and biochemistry section of the exam. Biochemistry. And the breakdown for this section is primarily biology. So biology is going to take up around 65% of this section. It's going to have a quarter biochemistry, so 25% biochemistry, and 6% organic chemistry, with the remaining 4% general chemistry. And this section has the same number of questions as the chemistry section and is allocated with the same amount of time. So it's going to have 59 questions at 95 minutes. After that, you get another break for 10 minutes. Another break for 10 minutes. And once the break is over, you start on the psychology and sociology section, which is mostly psych. So 60% of it is psychology, 30% of it is sociology, and the remaining 10% is biology. This section is also 59 questions long, like the biology and chemistry section, and is also 95 minutes. After that, you're pretty much done. You only have to end the test with a void question, which takes around 5 minutes, and an optional survey, which takes another 5 minutes. 5 and 5. So the total time for the entire Mcat, total time, comes out to be 7 hours and 33 minutes, which is really, really long. Probably one of the longest tests out there. All right, so let's talk about scoring real quick. Let me find an open space here to write that down. All right, so scoring. So each section in the Mcat ranges from a low 118 to a high 132. That being said, the highest you can score on the Mcat is a 528. So for each section, your score is derived from the total number of questions you get right, and that is collectively labeled your raw score. And all correct answers are worth the same amount. The average score is 500, but because med schools in America are extremely selective, the average accepted applicant has a score of around 513. Although the Mcat is a prime factor in the admission committee's decision, there are other factors that are taken into account in terms of whether or not you are accepted into med school. This includes your GPA, your personal statement, the interview you give to the school, letters of recommendation, and overall experience. So interview and experience. And the experience includes, types of courses you took, volunteer work, and internships. And that's pretty much it, you guys. The PDF file of all these notes are located in the description box below.